Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a thrift haul video. The items you're about to see came from a variety of sources over several different stops and trips. I'll begin with what I've piled up here in my spot. One of the places that I went to, was a reuse center. And in keeping with the policy that they had last year, they don't charge. That also means that it's very popular, and quite often it's slim pickings in the sort of items that I'm interested in. But I did get this sheer remnant that could easily be turned into something. This piece of lace, which I thought, how did it come to pass that it was still there? I noticed as I looked at it just now that it has these little holes that I'm sure a person could thread some fiber or ribbon or something through it to jazz it up if desired. This is just a piece of netting, probably off a curtain panel or something. I just grabbed it because it's sort of that tea-dyed color look already, with nothing more required of me than to use it. These were, and of course I don't know where they came from, but it's basically a wad of these numbers that are in, kind of various states of distress, that either can be, ripped around and used for collage or become the base themselves for something, depending on positioning. So I thought that would be good collage fodder. There was, and somehow it came out of its packaging, but there were these mini little washies that all have a Christmas theme, so I'll throw them in with the Christmas supplies. This is a General Paint color deck. And of course, there are lots of possibilities here, and it's quite a big one. Let's just get a feel for, yeah, these pieces are basically 10 or 11 inches long. So I do have to come up with an idea to use them. And quite often it's just a case of, remembering, oh yeah, I've got that. Here's what I can do with it. I grabbed this bag of puzzle pieces. You can see they're pretty tiny, half inch, 3/4 of an inch. Number one, I like the color. No idea what the picture is, don't really care. So I can see this maybe ending up on a masterboard or something like that. So again, the problem, I guess, with the thrift hauls and the purchases is that in my case, I'm an out of sight, out of mind type person. So in my studio space, I'm trying to find a livable balance between not visual overwhelm, but also enough visibility of what I have to remind me, oh yeah, use that. That would be perfect here. The other thing I found there was this probably close to intact deck of cards. Kind of an interesting design on it, and well worn. They wouldn't need any sanding. I do have, oh no, I haven't listed it yet. I will be listing in my Etsy store bundles of playing cards with a variety of backgrounds, because I know that when I was first starting out and trying to acquire some supplies, it was really hard to find any vintage or more interesting cards. Quite often, we don't care that much about the promotional ones, but we want, something with some interest to it. Also in a bin were these loose cards, and I picked them up simply because I think they would make great backgrounds. Need very little else done to them. So just got a handful of those. and some flashcards as well. Some of these are the taller variety, so that's good. Okay, this place also has cardboard. And again, the whole mission there is to keep stuff out of the landfill. So there are a variety of categories or items there that I will never in a million years use, like egg cartons and those pull tabs from cans, and what else is kind of obscure? You know, margarine and yogurt containers, that sort of thing. But this sort of heavier weight backing that probably came off pads. Obviously, there's always a need for that in our line of work. They had tissue paper. And again, it's pretty hard to, or at least I find it hard to find tissue paper that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and that would be great for collage. So this looks like a knitted pattern. This is just a wavy one. And again, I do have napkins that can serve that same purpose, but as you know, we like to change things up. I should point out that I've listed in my Etsy napkin sort of starter packs in a variety of colorways or themes that might be great for a beginner who's just trying to acquire a bit of range and really just trying to figure out how to use it and whether or not this is something for them. So I urge you to check that out if you haven't already. The other thing, well, I found, okay, I'll show you this. This is a remnant of wallpaper. And what's different about this is that it's actually, it feels embossed, and it's like a kitchen-y one that probably was trying to replicate, you know, ceramic tiles or something. So I can see this being really nice, either to fussy cut or perhaps turn into a journal cover. So I was happy with that. Just a scrap of paper that grabbed my eye because of the colors. This one really is charming. Now it's Valentine's paper. I doubt that I would ever do a Valentine's journal, but it's got, you know, cute imagery of these kids, you know, hearts, lace and doilies. So I thought that was a score. I found this maybe in a stencil bin. Now, and just understand that a lot of the bins were totally empty. They had bins for keys and padlocks and stencils and stamps and you name it, all sorts of categories, but they were empty. Now, I think this has something that a dentist might use, because it says dense ply. And it's got name, date, the doctor's, you know, room for the doctor's name and so on. So I imagined it as stencil, and I just, before turning the camera on, I just tried it out with some rusty hinge. So I think that's kind of cool in that it gives a bit of a frayed edge to it. So happy with that. Oh, here's another piece of paper. I guess this would be considered wrapping paper, but again, some cool pieces of that. Now, another thing that they had a fair bit of were these boxes. So, okay, of course, who doesn't see a box and feel the need to open it and peek inside? The cross makes me think there's a religious theme, and to be honest, I didn't read this. Oh, maybe it's intended for holding memories, artifacts, whatever, when a person is grieving, because there is, I don't know if you can see that, it says grieving together. But I, of course, was drawn to the color, the excellent condition. These things have obviously never been used. And inside, oh, I didn't even see this. Oh, I see. This is just like a divider in here. Anyway, inside are two more boxes with dividers. So, you know, for those of us that are constantly looking for storage solutions, this is going to be really a treasure. Now, I picked up 2 of these, and then where did I put them? As I was leaving, I noticed that they had opened up some boxes and just had these little guys in a stack, so I took a few of those as well. So yeah, I thought that was definitely a score. Now, that's pretty well it. Oh, I also got a number of paper bags, gift bags, in a variety of colors and condition. Oh, this is just some brown paper. So these are cool. They've got the ribbon handles. This is a chocolate maker. These colors, these I grabbed obviously for the color. Here's, I guess that's probably for wine. I like this. I think these are called Quatrefoil, that particular design. And I thought this was kind of a cool color because I love that coppery feel. So I got those bags. Oh, a few more things to show you before I hit the books. Just picked up 3 copies of National Geographic. Oh, these aren't even very old. Oh, that's 97, 2019, and 2012. But I had just looked at the index and thought there were some things that I might be interested in. That may not be quite the score I think it should be. I found this pad. Kind of different in that the colors are a little bit different. It's a brown line, so that's a brand we're all familiar with. There was a box of this computer paper that, from the early days when it was fed through, came out of a box, and oh, this one is carbonized. That's great. Yeah, have to find something to do with this. And then they had, oh, I'm so sorry. That's to see if you're paying attention. I found some of these, and I don't, to be honest, really know, what they are, or who would have used them. I don't know if that's a medical thing where they put those different, those combination of letters and numbers. It's got this sort of a thing here to hold documents. It's got a couple more dividers, another bracket here too. So because I didn't have a plan, I only took 2 of those. And then these guys always have calendars of every size and description. So I picked ones that I thought would either make great collage fodder, or this one, geez, it's all completed. I am, because of the farming background in my rural life here, I think there's a lot of possibility for this one. This one, again, the artwork is awesome, maybe a bit, country and kitschy, but again, if you could feel this, it's almost like, it almost feels like fabric, or it's got a satiny feel to it. Look at those gigantic numbers. Mind you, you can't have it both ways. If you take the numbers, then you're destroying the picture. So that was good. This one, 2001, has a quilting theme to it. So again, clearly a lot of good. This one maybe is the best of the bunch. So there's that. Now, At one other stop, I ended up buying this thing. Paid $5 for it. And I thought what my plan here was, let me just see if I can gauge the size for you. It's about 19 by 3, 6, 9, almost 12. 12 by 19. So it's got several compartments. I am running out of wall space to hang stuff like this. I've taken to displaying some of my wooden mounted rubber stamps. Again, because it makes finding them and seeing them easy, and it's decorative. But again, running out of space. So the other thing I thought this might be good for, this color is, you know, not great. I would probably just give it I'd sort of probably tone it down with some white paint or white gesso just to knock back the blue. Because I now have a second taping area, I'm finding that, you know, whatever, if I'm here, I need something from over there. If I'm over there, I need something from over here. So with all these small compartments, I could easily sort of make up a selection, especially of ephemera, odds and ends, little teeny weeny things that, you know, sort of carry from one place to the other and think, okay, use what's in the box. Today, that's your mission, should you choose to accept it. So that may be how this gets used. Okay, so that concludes the supply, miscellaneous, you know, odds and ends, basically all freebies. So I'm going to start with books, and they're just in stacks. I ended up, you know, this was a bit of a stretch for me. You need to buy 5 in order to get them at half price, so probably not the best books in the world, but who doesn't love half price? So this book has a number, you know, a number of dogs that could be fussy cut. I think I had a similar book to this, but gave it to my daughter and probably will not see it again. So I thought that was good. This one, I have no idea what language that is, but it's obviously some Asian. But it was kind of interesting in that there were music, there were tables. So again, when a person wants to get into foreign language papers, I thought this was pretty darn good. I have text, Asian text, but nothing like that. Helen Steiner Rice, of course, I can't imagine that she would still be around, but she was known for all these inspirational religious poems that she wrote. The illustrations here are not the greatest in the world, but they do have a bit of charm to them. So again, I can see, oh, that's lovely. I can see, you know, deconstructing the book and using these watercolor illustrations. So that was good. And it's a cute size with a pretty perfect cover that could be reused for something. Let's just see if I can find a date. 87. So yeah, it's getting up there. Now these last two are kids' books. I imagine there's a fair bit of glare there. They are obviously taken out of circulation from a library, a school library. Not that many pages, but again, really cool illustrations. And the beauty of something like this is that it is in landscape format, so a person can easily, you know, take the book apart, fold it in half, and you've got two you've got a folio to put into, to become part of a signature. So that was cool. That's from me to you. And this one is called Family Farm. So again, kind of subject matter near and dear to my heart. So again, these would make lovely pages. And because they are, you know, just one-sided, you end up with this nice big font on the other side, and even space to write if you so desire. So that was one stop. Now this other bunch, let me just be sure about that. Yeah, I think all of these others came from, and this is just part of the pile, came from a place where you fill a bag. Now I noticed that in the new year, the price, like everything else, the prices have gone up. They used to use recyclable bags, fill a bag, $5. So of course, with some skillful Tetris-like thinking, a person could really get their money's worth. They've now switched to paper bags. The small one is really, the $5 one is now really quite small. And then, of course, the $10 one is, you know, more than double the size. This one, obviously the cover is shot, but it is, I just bought it, well, 1937, basically because of the nice paper. It's got some tables in it, you know, a layout. So there is a bit of, you know, visual interest. But even if it was just for the pages alone, that's pretty good. Likewise, this is another textbook, 1956, physics. Now, I don't know if you ever tried learning physics in school. I know I registered for Physics 10 and was hopeless. It seems to me I dropped out and switched to something else. Couldn't this artistic and creative mind of mine couldn't wrap my head around these kinds of things, and I think that ship has sailed. So I won't be reading this from cover to cover. But you know, there are some graphic type illustrations, some tables, so that will be good collage fodder as well. I'm kind of building a house of cards here. I grabbed this simply because, again, it's landscape format. I think it would make some really cool pages. The pictures, the paper is not that glossy, so I think that would be fine. It's small, and pages are small enough that if a person, you know, ripped out a page, yeah, I'm sure that's just glued. If a person ripped out a page, they could, you know, fold it creatively, put it in a pocket, and someone would actually have a usable, oh no, it's sewn. Oh, that's better yet. Would have a usable recipe. I picked this one up, again, because there was room in the bag. Now, I don't know how good your eyes are, but if you can see that font and read it, well, you're a better man than I am. A chocolate-themed cookbook. So, again, they look like sewn signatures, which would make deconstruction really quite nice and easy. Yipper. And, you know, really cute if I ever decided to do a chocolate-themed book. This one, Cute little book. Something's about to collapse off to the side here. 1923, written by a doctor. Talking about mental and emotional stuff, bodily symptoms, nature and causes. Again, really nice paper. And a nice little cover to reuse. This, now again, I think most of us have more word guides than we'll ever use. I'm not really that familiar with this style. It is different than the ones that we typically get here in Alberta or in Canada. But there is some you know, I think there's value here. These would be so cute to fussy cut. Some of these are far too small, but they'd make interesting pages. Or, again, even if a person ripped out a page and just folded and included it as a, you know, as a piece of ephemera in an envelope or a pocket. Oh, those are lovely. So, yeah, cool. Cool. You may see these on a masterboard someday. So my homework for the rest of my life is to fussy cut. Yeah, nice. What is the year on this, by the way? Fairly new, I'd say. 2003. Oh, 20 years. Time flies when you're having fun. Start. Well, we'll do it this way. So this top one is called Victorian Nosegays. And I noticed yesterday when I was flipping through it a little more closely that it says scented. And sure enough, when I put my nose to the page, it is scented, and it is from 1991. So, again, watercolor illustrations, very old-timey and sort of romantic looking. Now, unfortunately, the description is on the opposite page. Let's see what kind of a... Oh, this is probably a sewn. So if a person... Let me just find the center of one of these signatures. If a person found, you know, took it apart carefully, oh yeah, right here, this could become a center in a book, so in a journal. So again, I thought that was pretty cool. And if YouTube had the smell capability, you'd be able to smell those delicate scents wafting your way. I've had this before. Again, these illustrations and even these end papers are gorgeous. I typically, you know, again, sewn, deconstruct, like, you know, there's ready-made journaling paper right there. So these books lend themselves to fussy cutting, to use them as folios. It would be great in a, you know, a homemaker's journal, or... So that's another score. This one, I'm not even sure what it is. It's just basically a little booklet type. Oh, 1952. Again, it's got that science-y feel to it. Oh, so they're talking about how... Have you ever done that in a store when you don't have a tape measure and you're wondering how long something is? The human body tends to be very... it's scientific in the way a body is constructed. So the size of one's head is, you know, so many heads fit into a torso, and so many of those fit into the length of a leg. you know, it's showing here that from this tip of this guy's nose to the end of his fingers is 1 yard. A foot is about a foot. So a person can, oh, you're saying a thumb is an inch. So a person can do some crude measuring just with our own body parts. I know I've been in places and thought, okay, so how wide is this in comparison to elbow to fingertip? So again, some sciencey kind of thing here, these micrometers. So that's, you know, probably likely just collage fodder. Now this one, another small booklet, is even, well, it was copyrighted in 36, but this edition was 1954. And it looks like it was done by, oh, I guess American, you know, governmental department to help people plan parties. So it's showing how to, you know, set things up. Party themes, some music, maybe some games. Thought I saw, okay, what is this? Banquet parties. So again, a variety of fonts, kind of a nice texture to the paper, a good color. So that was cool. This one is called Tussie Mussies, and you know, it has that typical Victorian look to it. And apparently these were popular, well, probably about 25, 30 years ago. And before that, clearly, in Victorian times. The art of expressing yourself in the language of flowers. So this book, although the pages are glossy, would be fairly easy to fussy cut. And it basically is saying, based on this, can you see this? Based on the selection of flowers and greenery that a person uses, that you're conveying a certain feeling. So this is romance, and it's okay. So the fern is fascination. The tiger lily is, oh, tiger flower. That looks like an orchid to me. And ragwort. So there's a message in there, or a quality, like pansy means loving thoughts, encouragement, support, friendship, well-being. So plenty of that would be cool. Plenty of things to cut out. That would be a nice envelope page, probably. Then sort of these title pages that have a lot of the kinds of imagery that journalists like. That's a creepy little doll, but other than that, things, you know, calling card. Tools. You know, that could be fussy cut. So this would be like 1875. More. So again, the possibilities are here. What is the year anyway? 93. So yeah, 30 years ago. This book is called The World Nation of Literature. It's got this embossed design on the cover, but I don't know, green paint or whatever. Some scribbly things happening here. This book, I think, is pretty well all black and white. The pages are too glossy, I think, for my liking. but there are some possibilities with the photos. So place, you know, these line drawings are especially nice when you get a whole slug of them on one page. And there are a variety of those. I'll just show you a couple more and then I'll get on with it. Oh, there are some colored ones. Some old stamps. Oh, animals on stamps. Sports on stamps. So things like this have that. Some very peculiar animals, it says. Oh, and that too is a sewn signature. The wasp. So, you know, if the wasp. If a person cherry picks through some of these pages, I think that this will have been worth bringing home. I didn't even flip through it, to be honest, that carefully. I just saw a few things that I thought had promise and stuffed it in the bag. Let's see if I can find a year. Reprinted in 1960. This one is kind of a skinny little book. A Christmas Cup of Tea. Again, not old, I don't think. Some cute little, and lots of white space for, you know, turning some of these things into pockets or tags, because there's kind of enough white space around them to back them as well. Not much text at all, but it is larger font, so and they aren't necessarily Christmas, so that's a good thing too. Uh, 1982. Okay, and then the last few are these. Trying to sort of get you in line here. This is 1961. So, and I'm sure it has a sewn signature. Yes, it does. You can see it's sort of coming apart already. Music. Lyrics. Pretty darn large, but again, that could be cool collage-wise to use each staff. I think that's what it's called. Each staff separately. You know, rip them out and use them that way. Some not very cute illustrations. So definitely a good, lest we forget, value in that. This one is incredible. A Harvest Yet to Reap, A History of Prairie Women. And again, because of where I live, but you can see it's coming apart. It's just, oh, the pages are just glued. 1976, and it's on a creamy paper that is obviously not, you know, there's no glare to it. It's matte, and, oh dear, coffee. 1911. So this has I don't know if they're all Alberta. Probably credits. It probably has other prairie. Mind you, Alberta. Maybe this is all Alberta photographs. But again, the beauty of them is that they either have nothing on the back or it's just text. So you're not having to choose this one or this one. So these are great. Yeah, this could be all Alberta. Love it, love it, love it. Bonaccord. Cereal, Alberta. Look at those gals. Cool. Oh. Sweatshop. AKA a clothing factory. A real estate office. Look at that store. Yeah, this is a treat. This is a how-to drawing book and different in that it's buildings. So, you know, for a different look on masterboards or collages, this is going to be great. Even these little perspective drawings are, you know, they're so cool in and of themselves. Again, there are choices to be made here. You use that side or do you use that side? But look at how cool that is. Especially if a person who's doing a black and white journal or a monochromatic something or other. Yeah, I was glad to grab that. This, okay, I'll show you this one. Now, this is one of those Dover books, and of course, back in the day, these are all copyright images, printed on one side, hundreds of uses. So back in the day before computers, I think this is 86. The intention was, okay, you cut it out and glue it onto whatever it is that you're creating, and that's how you made your master. Lots of borders in various, you know, borders, corners, arches. So these are always a find. Always, always, always a find. Yeah, it's basically saying how a person would use this. So you're using an X-Acto knife, a square, a triangle, rubber cement, a compass, and a burnishing tool. To shorten a banner, how you would do that. How to miter corner. So, yeah, gorgeous. And you can see the style differences. Some look Art Nouveau, some are really graphic, some are kind of more dainty, I guess. Anyway, thrilled. Okay, so then these two, now again, I looked at these, I saw them, I thought, oh yeah, there's value here. And then by the time I worked my way back to that bookcase, the others had been snapped up. One is hardcover, one is softcover. This is 2012, this is 2016. It almost seems as though this is a catalog for people to order casino type, I don't know, memorabilia. But I thought the possibilities were great for fussy cutting. You know, there are those clocks. You know, reproduction tin signs. Tiffany type lamps. Slot machines. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Scales. Popcorn machine. Like, just weird and wacky stuff. Coca-Cola stuff is always big. This might have been okay. This was an auction catalog in 2012 at the so there was a host hotel. You could bid on the internet. You could bid by telephone. So this represented the lots that were taking place, that were available in that auction. Never seen anything like this before, and thought, yes, grab it. And in typical, I don't know, hoarder, dare we say hoarder behavior, if one is good, then obviously two must be better. So this is quite a bit thicker a book. It's newer, but again, that doesn't matter because the imagery itself is vintage. So more signs. These are probably even better for fussy cutting. Well, the paper's kind of glossy. I don't think that's going to be a detriment necessarily. Coca-Cola stuff. Betty Boop. Some furniture, some neon signage. Some of these pages I don't care about. What the heck is that? Oh, I guess old-fashioned slot machines. A gumball machine. These are, the globe lights from the top of a gas pump. Oil company signage is hot, 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 even now. See, these are a good size for journal purposes. Just so cool. Pinball machines. Toys. Vehicles. Okay, you get the idea. Anyway, never saw it before. Love it. See the possibilities. I will stop there. And yes, I think like Kim Newberg, I'm going to begin using the Crafty Canucks hashtag as opposed to the Thrifty Thursday hashtag. Gives me a little more scheduling leeway for these videos, as well as, a shout out for our fellow Canadians. Anyway, thank you, and expect to see some of this stuff working its way into projects that I'm doing. Again, I would ask that you subscribe, ask, share the news of my channel with other people, and keep checking back to see some of the series that I have going on. Very soon, beginning of February, I'll be starting a journal project, just sort of a start to finish project, as well as I'm doing the hashtag Color Combo 2023 challenge that Tammy from Lou Frou Frou is hosting, and just a variety of other things. I'm also going to be doing the odd video here and there with hashtag Arm's Length Art, which is a Kim Newberg brainwave. So again, thank you for watching, and until next time, keep creating, stay healthy, and yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.